Visit CCGCastle.com and get 5% discount on your purchase with TCG Center 5 code. Check video description or visit CCG Castle for more. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. Another day, another video, another standard format deck. And this time we'll be looking at Zoroark with a Fright Yveltal. So Zoroark with the Fright Yveltal, let's just talk a little bit about these two cards. So Zoroark 100 HP, Darkness Pokemon Stage 1 evolution from Zorua, standing ability. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you might switch this Pokemon to your active Pokemon. That's pretty much it. So, like a Keldeo Arashi. But the Mind Jack is a pretty damn good attack. You can hit for 10 plus 30 more for each of your opponent benched Pokemons in play. 3 Pokemons in your opponent bench 100, 4, 130, 5, 160. Definitely very good amount of the damage for just a single double course energy and just for the single non-EX attacker. More than that, Yveltal Break, Zoroark Break, Full Play. Choose one of your opponent active Pokemon's attacks and use it as it attacks. So basically with the Full Play, you can copy one of your opponent active Pokemon attack just for the single darkness energy, which is just amazing. And of course, the most important thing and the most important part of this deck, or the main piece of puzzle, is Fright Yveltal. So we really want to start with the Fright Yveltal in the active spot. We really want to be able to control our opponent retreat way and tool cards. So basically, as long as Yveltal is in the active position, your opponent is not going to be able to play tool cards. And if he cannot play tool cards, we can just easily license one of his, for example, Pokemons with lot retreat cost. For example, Hoopa with 2 retreat cost. Volcanion with 3 retreat cost. They're not going to be able to retreat without having double course energy and switch. And basically we can pitch Black Spear for 60 even on the turn 1. Even if we start with the Yveltal in the active spot. And you should probably ask yourself how. Well, the first thing is to use Max Elixir, get 1 energy, a basic on one of your benched Pokemon on the bench. A basic, of course, then play double course energy to active Yveltal and use energy switch to transfer that energy on the active Yveltal. And then you can just go straight away for the pitch Black Spear, hit for 60 and 60 to your opponent EX Pokemon. So 2 turns of attack, you can go for like 2 Shamings and for like 4 prize cards, which is just remarkable. And trust me, it works just perfectly. If your opponent does not run double course energies and have more than 2 retreat costs, it will definitely find himself in a very big trouble. So I pretty much test this deck and it works pretty damn good, but the biggest problem are actually those non-EX decks like Greninja Break. I wouldn't say you have auto loss against Greninja Break, but if you play this deck against Greninja Break, you should probably find yourself in a very hard time, because once Greninja Break start to play, and if the player is pretty much smart enough to see the strategy of your deck, he should just probably try to stay with 2 Greninja Breaks in play and just switch between one another and use Rough Season, heal the damage between turns. So that's pretty much it. So that's what he needs to do. So 14 Pokemon, 34 trainer cards, and 12 energies, which means 60 cards in total. 2 Shamans EX for the setup. Pretty much when you set up, you can just use Pearl City, cut those Shamans, say thanks to Shamans, and start to attack with your Zoroarks or with the Yveltals. 3 Pitch Black Spear Yveltals, of course with the Fright Night. I was not able to find a space for the 4th one, to be honest. I would even run one of my special charges, but I cannot find a space to fit one of them in this build. I mean, you can always cut Enhanced Hammer and special charge and maybe cut 1 Enhanced Hammer and add 1 more N. It's just up to you. If you want to have more consistency, you should definitely cut those Enhanced Hammers and add 2 more N's. It's just my opinion. But I really like to play risky and more controllable with more disruptive cards if it's somehow possible. So 4/4 line of the Zoroark and 1 Zoroark Break. From item cards, of course, 2 copies of Energy Switch, because I can attack turn 1 with my Pitch Black Spear, which is very important. And Energy Switch can definitely help you a lot. 2 copies of Enhanced Hammers, well, being able to scrap those double Dragon energies from those Giratinas so they cannot attack, being able to scrap any kind of special energy these days is pretty good, especially on those decks like, I don't know, Mega Rayquaza, Darkrai Giratina, any kind of Giratina build. Trust me, it's just pretty damn good. 1 copy of Escape Rope, well, you never know when you're going to use Escape Rope, so it's definitely good. 4 Max Elixirs to be able to accelerate as much energies as you can. 1 Super Road, of course. Once we just lost some resources, we can just bring them back with the Super Road. 4 copies of Trainer's Mails, Ultra Balls, and the V Seeker. So even if you want to preserve 1 as an Enhanced Hammer, you can always cut 1 Trainer's Mail, for example, and 1 Enhanced Hammer and add 2 more ends to be able to have 4 ends So that's like 70% of time you should get with the top 7 cards, one supported to drop, instead of just maybe taking a risk by finding Ultra Ball or with the Trainer's Mail another supporter card. But I just much more prefer those Trainer's Mails straight away against those Ents, because once you're able to set up pretty much with 2 Pokemons in play, or once you're able to set up your Pitch Black Spear Yveltal, you're just going to be fine. So having more than like 6 drop supporters at this time with Shamans is just, I don't know, somehow it's not that good in my opinion. So 4 Ultra Balls, 4 V Seeker from supporter cards, 1 Hex Maniac, just because you want to have at least somehow opportunity to play against a deck like, I don't know, Greninja. The only problem definitely is going to be against Greninja that you're not going to be able to win basically against Greninja. So that's the reason why I actually decided to take Hex Maniac, but it can also help against other decks. You never know when Hex Maniac can be used. Of course, 1 copy of Lysander to Lysander one of our opponent Pokemon's in play, in my opinion, is good. 1 just to be able to find more space for other tech cards. So if you would like to play 2 of them, you can definitely cut 1 of the Enhanced Hammers or Trainer's Mails and add another Lysander. 2 copies of N, 4 copies of Professor Sycamore, of course, so draw 7 new cards, discard your hand. 2 different stadium cards, 1 Pearl City, so I can get rid of my Shamans, but of course with the Pearl City I can reduce the damage that my opponent can done to me by 20 with his Grass, Fire and Water Pokemons. It can help a little bit against Greninja, but not too much. 1 Reverse Wally, so I can increase the damage for 10 that I can do with my active Pokemon Darkness, of course. 2 Float Stones, so I can actually stand in and retreat for free. 12 energies in total, 4 of them are going to be double colors energies, and 8 of them are going to be just a basic Darkness energy card. So in my opinion, very, very good deck. It's also so much powerful against those EX decks that you're going to be very surprised to see how good actually is. So, as usual, if you're looking for any of these cards, you can find them on CCGCastle.com by typing TCG Center 5 code. You can also get 5% discount on your purchase. My recommendation for this deck is definitely to try it and to test it. Definitely if you play somewhere where the meta is around those heavy EX decks. So, if pretty much 20 players, if you have 20 players in your region and basically 15 or 16, 17 of those players are playing those heavy EX decks, you should definitely build something like that around Pitch Black Spear Yveltal and just came in the active spot against them and just surprise them with Pitch Black Spear for 60 and knocking out his EX Pokemon. So I played 2 games against 2 different EX decks, one against Megas Capital and one against Volcanion EX, so you should definitely enjoy watching this video and the total devastation with that Pitch Black Spear. So, see you in the game. Alright guys, let's do this. So, waiting for my opponent to load the game so we can go. Today I'm playing with Yveltal, Fright Yveltal with Zoroark in combination, so it's pretty decent deck. Definitely pretty decent deck. And also it's not that expensive, so that's the most important thing. So, starting with the Shaman EX, right here, I guess the worst possible start I could get. I guess the best start is actually with Yveltal. Let's see, 2 copies of Trainer's Mail. I hope 1 Ultra Ball is going to be with those Trainer's Mail. So there we go with the Ultra Ball and 1 Trainer's Mail. It's going to be 4 Super Road or Energy Switch. Ultra Ball for Enhanced Hammer and Darkness Energy. Well, pretty much just Ultra Ball for Enhanced Hammer and the Darkness Energy, and it's gonna be Ultra Ball for basically my Yveltal with the Pitch Black Spear. Really looking forward to get energies with the Max Elixir. At least 1 energy is gonna be good. So there we go with 1 energy and another Max Elixir just because I have another one, so another Darkness Energy on my Yveltal. And Sycamore for 7, so we're really hoping to get a Float Stone so I can move my Shaman from the active spot. So there is even 1 more Trainer's Mail to be played, and it's going to be just another Max Elixir and Reverse Wally, so I guess I'm going to take 1 more Max Elixir, use that Max Elixir basically to attach energy on my Zoroark. I know all these Pokemons can attack just with a single Darkness energy, but it is how it is, so let's go with the Shaman for 3. So turn 1, Yveltal with the 3 energies, it's pretty amazing. There is also energy switch, which is pretty decent. I'm going to use my energy switch right here so I can move one energy from my Zorua on my Shaman, and without Floatstone I have capability to retreat down to my Yveltal with the Fright Knight, and I'm going to pass my turn. So for my opponent, tool cards are not going to be effective, and next turn I can use my Pitch Black Spear to hit for 60 and spread 60 more damage to his Banched EX Pokemon in case he will have one of them. So there is one Grass Energy attachment and Professor Sycamore for 7. Which means that he discarded Mega Turbo, Floatstone, Energy Switch, and End. So since this is a Mega Turbo and Grass Energy, it's Mega Skeptal on the other side. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see those Mega decks in action. I really have that opportunity to find, as fast as I can, maybe that Lysander, so I can basically scrap some, so I can basically put in the active position one of my opponent Pokemon without energy, so he was not going to be able to retreat. Really need to find Lysander as soon as I can. But more than that, there is a Hoopa. So, for example, Lysander and Hoopa, without double cores energy, is going to be a nightmare to retreat Hoopa from the active position. So there we go with the Hoopa for that Skandering. So let's see what he can find right here. Skeptile and Mega Skeptile. Okay. So there is one Skeptile. I mean, Skeptile can evolve into Mega on turn 1. So he just decided to keep his Shaman in the active position. There is a double core energy for me. More than that, I guess I'm just going to use my Professor Sycamore right here for 7, to be honest. I know that he's probably looking forward to that Sky Return on the next turn. That's probably what I would do personally. So there is Zoroark number 1. There is also Parallel City, which means that I can remove my Shamans from the bench. There we go. So say goodbye to my Shamans. And this is going to be Pitch Black Spear. And 60 damage counters is going to be placed on my opponent, Mega Skeptile. Okay, so if he missed that energy attachment or Sky Return for the next turn, Shaman is going to be knocked out. I still have that V-Seeker, which means that I can easily go for that Professor Sycamore for 7. There is a Floatstone on the Hoopa, but as I mentioned it, as long as I have Yveltal in the active position, I don't need to worry too much about it. So I guess he's just digging for that Mega Turbo, so if he can find that Mega Turbo, he can just easily retreat Shaman, use Mega Turbo, hit with his Mega Skeptile for that Jagged Saber, hit for 100, and even attach 2 more energies on his Banched Pokemons. It's definitely going to be a big play, no doubt about that. So there's Escape Rope, and with Escape Rope I'm going to put in the active spot my Zorua. Probably I'm going to see that Mega Skeptile. I didn't want to take a risk actually by losing my Yveltal, so he just decided to pass. And look at this, I managed to get a Floatstone. I even have that V-Seeker sitting in my hand for Professor Sycamore, which means that I can take 7 new cards right there. And I can even knock out his Shaman on the bench, which is very important. So there is a Trainer's Mail. Trainer's Mail for Max Elixir on the next turn. Very nice Lysander in my hand. So I guess this is going to be a retreat. I mean, right now I can hit with my Zoroark actually for the 100. And if I do that, I can next turn draw 4 prize cards. So let's just better stick with attacking with the Zoroark for now, for that Mind Jack, and this is going to be 100 damage. So right now he's Skeptile have 160, and next turn I can easily retreat, promote my Yveltal in the active position, Lysander his Hoopa in the active spot, and basically knock out his Mega Skeptile and his Shaman for 4 prizes and spread like... Oh, no, I can't do that. I totally misplaced something. I can knock out actually his Mega Skeptile and Shaman if I decide to just pretty much keep my Yveltal in the active spot. So this is a N, which means that my Zoroark is going to be knocked out. There is no doubt about that. So Zoroark is going to be knocked out, so he really needs to find more resources to set up another attacker, because without another attacker, he's definitely going to be in bad position. So at least I'm going to be able to put another Yveltal. Oh, actually, I even forget I have that Pearl City freaking in place, so he's not going to be able even to one-hit knockout right there. This is going to be pretty much, as I said, retreat and 4 prize a turn right there. I can even attach my DC on another Zoroark. As you can see right now, I have 3 Zoroarks sitting on my bench. They're all hungry of those knockouts, but the Pitch Black Spear is going to be a big turn right here. So 120, 60 damage to each of his EXs, but the most important thing is that I managed to get 4 prize cards in just a single turn. In just a freaking single turn, 4 prize cards. This is just amazing. I think this is definitely a very good combination. So there is a Yveltal EX in the active. I still have, as I mentioned it, triple Zoroark on my bench sitting and waiting for those knockouts. Also, if there is not going to be a Pokemon for my opponent for the next turn, Escape Rope, it's going to be GG, I guess, because I will force him to promote his Hoopa, and basically 60-60, 60-60, and one more time 60-60, which will be enough for the knockout. And he even just by itself decide to use that Escape Rope, and I'm going to put my Zoroark in the active spot, basically the one with the Float Stone, because it also have 80 damage in it. And there we go with Retreat, back to the Yveltal, and Ultra Ball for Shaman EX. Okay, so this is going to be Shaman EX, which means that this is pretty much GG if I can somehow bring his Hoopa in the active position. So 2 turns and Shaman is going to fall down, and this is going to be it. So let's wait and see. So yeah, this is definitely deck to counter those heavy EX decks in the current format. If you want to counter those heavy EX Pokemons and heavy EX decks, I think that the Fright Yveltal is actually the best thing you can get. Because all tools are not going to be effective, and you can just put your opponent in a very, very bad position. So and I got that Professor Sycamore, pretty nice. He managed to get another V-Seeker, so he can just easily end on his next turn. So Sleep Poison, I'm going to be knock it out at the end of my turn. So one Zoroark is going to be knocked out if I actually don't use my Rushing Retreat. So I'm just looking forward to retreat on my bench, of course, on my Yveltal. I even have that full play Yveltal break. And I'm thinking about attaching that Float Stone on it, and also thinking about playing Ultra Ball for that Max Elixir and Double Core's Energy, pretty much taking one of my cards in my hand. In case of N, of course, I have more opportunity to get Lysander, but pretty much Pitch Black Spear 60 and 60 down to Shaman. And if next turn he's not going to be able, and of course he's not going to be able to knock out my Yveltal in the active spot, and this game is over because Shaman is going to be knocked out on the bench, and I will take my last 2 prize cards. So the best thing he can get, I guess, is somehow to knock out my Yveltal, but without the Rieros in play, he's not going to be able to use Unseen Cloud for 130. 130 would be enough for one-hit knockout against my Yveltal, but of course in case he had actually even that Stadium in play, because Pearl City will also reduce the 20 damage from those grass Pokemon that he can do. So this is a Hex Maniac for the Ultra Ball, which means that he can Ultra Ball for his Mega Sceptile, and basically he can evolve and maybe attach energy on his Shaman, so in that case he can actually preserve that Shaman for a turn. But I guess I can then just next turn use my Lysander his Hoopa in the active spot, and basically do the Nightmare to him, because he's not going to be capable of retreat, and as you can see he just decided to quit because there's no more other play that he can actually use to win this matchup. Okay guys, so the game number 2 is about to start. To be honest, I think in my personal opinion, this deck can be very good against pretty much every deck in the standard format, but Greninja Break is just too much for him, I guess. If you can open good with Greninja Break, I guess this deck does not have too many chances to play against it. So I'm starting with my Shaman. I cannot believe in that. On the other side, it's probably Volcanion, so at least I can take one mulligan right here, and maybe with the Trainer's Mail I can grab something pretty useful. But we'll see. So I will take one extra card, which is just... Okay, at least there is Yveltal and a Max Elixir, so let's see if I can hit Energy card. Yes, I can. And the Trainer's Mail will be 4. Oh, just a Lysander. Okay, at least I can attach one more energy, and I guess I can Escape Rope. pretty much passed my turn. Okay, it's not that bad. I mean, turn 1 Yveltal with 2 energies is not bad. I mean, if I can top deck something like an energy card, I can use my Pitch Black Spear and start to spread damage around the board to my opponent EX Pokemons. So there is a Die Ball, which means that he can go for maybe Remoraid or Volcanion. Okay, so totally forget that the Volcanion is a dual type, and you can also search it with a Die Ball. Pretty good play right here, so really looking forward to get that energy as a top deck. But more than that, I even have that Lysander. Oh, Lysander on my Shaman. I guess I was too fast with... I think I was too fast with attaching that energy and playing Escape Probe. But okay, at least I have Lysander to respond back. But probably I will do that on my next turn. There is an energy switch, which means that I can use my energy switch, move 1 energy on my Shaman, retreat it back to my bench on my Yveltal, and pass my turn. I'm gonna wait for 1 more turn actually to force my opponent to attach 1 more energy on his Flareon, and after that I'm going to Lysander his Volcanion with 3 energy cards, so with 3 energy retreat costs. So there is a Pokemon Pokemon fan club. So he can grab Volcanion and Volcanion EX, and of course put him on his bench. And it's my turn. So the top deck is going to be V-Seeker. Let's just go with the Lysander, and I'm going to pass my turn. So as long as my Yveltal is in the active position, I don't worry too much about it. As long as he's not going to be able to Lysander my Shaman. So there's a big Skyla. It might be Skyla for V-Seeker. It might be, probably it might be Skyla for the V-Seeker or for the Floatstone. But Floatstone is not going to work as long as I have my Yveltal in the active position. So he's not going to be able to retreat. I should call this as a big mistake from my opponent. Still, I have a Lysander and a V-Seeker, but really looking to top deck something good right here, so I can actually start to set up, start to draw, start to attack, and do stuff like that. So it's my turn again, and the top deck is a Trainer's Mail, and Trainer's Mail for Professor Sycamore will help a little bit. Unfortunately, I'm going to discard a lot of resources, 2 Zoroarks and one V-Seeker, but it is how it is. So I almost attached wrong energy. This is a Flowstone on my Zorua. More than that, I'm going to use my Pitch Black Spear. This is going to be 6 damage counters on his Flareon, and of course 6 on his Volcanion. For the next turn, I'm going to use my energy attachment, probably Ultra Ball for Shaman, if I don't have Shaman for Zoroark, of course, and I maybe even decide to knock out his Volcanion in the active spot if he put 1 more Pokemon in play. Yes, there we go. So right now I can hit for 130. But more than that, it's my turn, and there is another Fright Yveltal as the top deck. So let's go with the Ultra Ball. No sign of the Shaman EX. It's priced, but it really doesn't matter. This is going to be another Pitch Black Spear and another 60 damage on his Volcanion and 60 damage on his Flareon EX on the bench. So he cannot retreat, he needs to find 2 more energies or double cores energy to retreat. And next turn I'm going to knock out basically Volcanion and Flareon. I'm going to take 4 prize cards, and he just decided to go with the V-Seeker for Skyla right there. So let's see what he can grab with a Skyla number 2 right here. I probably would go with the V-Seeker maybe for Lysander to try retreat Volcanion, and maybe even go for a knockout, but he have that switch, so he can respond with the switch, and there is even Skyfield. So he can go straight away for 110. If he can find 1 more energy, then he will go for 130, but even more with Steam Up. So Blaze Ball just for 110. Luckily, he didn't have another energy card in play, which is just amazing for me. There we go with another Max Elixir. This is going to be energy attachment on my another energy to my Yveltal, and a Pitch Black Spear for a 4 prize knockout in just a single turn. There we go, guys. So 2 more prize to take. I guess I only need to knock out his Volcanion for the game. So there is Flowstone, there is N. Will there be maybe Energy and V-Seeker? Well, there is Zorua and Sycamore, but no sign of the Energy. Right now he can knock me out with his Volcanion, with just a single power healer, and put 2 more energies on his Pokemons on the bench. Oh, there is a big N, so that means that I'm going down to 2 cards. It's not going. It's not that. It doesn't matter as long as I can find a drop supporter, but not drop supporter like a N. So another Flareon and 1 energy, and this is going to be a very devastating blow right here with that power hitter. But still, I have 4 prize advantage. So with 4 prize advantage, I guess I have time to set up another attacker and basically go for the knockout. With my Zoroark, I can hit for barely 130. I mean, it's enough for the knockout, but with Fighting Fury Belt, it's not. So 2 more fire energies attached on his benched Pokemons, and of course I will put my Zoroark with the Flowstone in the active spot. And oh, nice top deck, Professor Sycamore. So I have 3 Zoroarks in my discard pile. Really looking forward somehow to get that very important, very important. This is going to be Ultra Ball for another Zorua, very important Super Road. And I'm going to put my Zorua right here, and I mean I can go with my Mind Jack right here, to be honest, or I can even go with a Sky Return and promote 1 Zorua in the active spot. So right now I can hit for 3, 6, 9, 12, 130, and still not going to be able to knock him out even on the next turn. The good thing is that I have that Lysander sitting in my hand, so I can Lysander on the next turn his Volcanion on the bench. So without switch, he's not going to be able to retreat. I'm still thinking what to do. What is the best option right here to do? Let's just go with a Zoroark, basically with the Mind Jack for 130, and after the next turn he actually knocked on my Zoroark. If he can actually knock him out, he's going to be knocked out when I promote my Yveltal with the Fright in the active spot, because the tool is not going to work, and his Volcanion is going to be knocked out, and then I can just easily stand in again and put more damage counters on one of his Pokemons in place. So he just decided to go with Scorched Earth right here. Okay. More than that, if he put 1 more Pokemon in play, this might be a GG, because I can take 2 prizes then on the next turn pretty easily, just by retreating my Zoroark on the Yveltal and knocking out his Volcanion by ability, and then just by playing V-Seeker and maybe Lysandering his another Volcanion for the knockout. So he actually decided to go with the Fan Club. Oh my gosh, this can be definitely a big thing right here. So a Fan Club for another Volcanion without Fighting Fury Belt, and this game is pretty much over for the next turn. So there is Energy Retrieval, and he really wants to knock on my Zoroark right here, but he's definitely going to be short for 10 damage counters right there. So this is going to be Steam Up for 30. Right now he can do 50, and with 1 more Steam Up he can do 30 more damage, which is going to be 60 damage and 30 more damage from that Power Heater, which is 90 in total. So he's definitely short for 10. And I guess this is a GG. This is definitely a GG. So at the end, I managed to win on very spectacular way. So right now I can just easily retreat, of course, on my Yveltal, and his Volcanion is knocked out. Let's grab 1 prize, which is a Shaymin EX. And of course, right now he's just thinking what kind of the Pokemon I should promote in the active position. Well, I have V-Seeker for the Lysander, and that's pretty much it, guys. So let's just stand in 1 more time. Of course, I'm going to attach my double Course Energy on my Zorua, but it really doesn't matter where should it go, because I can just V-Seeker for Lysander, Lysander one of his Volcanions, and he have 4 Pokemons on the bench. That's 120 plus 10 from the Mind Jack, which is 130, and I can take that last prize, and basically I can win this game. So very strong deck, especially it's very strong against those EX and heavy EX Pokemons who have so much energies for the retreat, like Volcanion, for example, 3, or Hoopa 2, and if you don't play double Course energies, you're not going to be able to retreat and have a good time. So once again, guys, I hope you enjoy watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more fishy videos. If you have any questions, Don't forget to leave comments below. Let me know what you think about this deck in the video description. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So till the next time, have a nice day and goodbye.